What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to JJD TV. I'm your host, Josh, and today we're here for a fun little episode to break down the announcement of the German men's national team. As a lot of you guys know, that is my background, so I'm fairly invested in this team, even though I don't think that we have the greatest chances here at the Euros, but I am excited because I took a look at the team. It does include a couple of Dortmund lads, and of course, one massive exit, that is our friend DAHOUD. So we're coming here today to break down the team. There's 26 people in this in the starting squad, so I'm excited to see what you guys have to say about it. I'm assuming some of you guys will be under the assumption that DAHOUD got basically robbed, but I'm just going to basically go through the list, tell you if I agree with it, tell you if I don't, and we'll obviously talk with some of you guys in the chat as well. I know I got a decent chunk of German followers, so it should be kind of fun. And like I said, man, it's my background, and yeah. But I mean, there's one major one, and I'm just gonna stick it up there. I mean, it might as well just stay on screen for the entirety of this stream because DAHOUD got absolutely robbed. And I'm not even saying that because I'm being biased in the fact that I love DAHOUD and I think that he's played some of the best football. But I mean, looking at the teams in there, and we'll get into it, but I just feel like he absolutely deserved a spot here. Jurgen Löw called him up during a time in his career where he wasn't even playing that well, where he wasn't even playing whatsoever. And honestly, when he started picking it up and playing like we know he could, he didn't get invited. And I'm curious to see what a lot of you guys think as well. But yes, man, DAHOUD absolutely did get robbed. It's ridiculous. And Marco did withdraw. So it did look like Marco Reus would have probably been selected for this squad, but it didn't go that way. He wanted to rest on his body. I've touched on that a little bit on some other streams, but I mean, it's probably the right decision. He's 32 years old. He's obviously going into the twilight parts of his career, and he wants to prolong his club career. And by doing that, having rest during the summer is absolutely important. So I give him a huge credit for having to turn this down, because it's not an easy thing to do not to represent your country. And yeah, but let's dive on in. Let's take a look at Germany's Euro 2020 squad in full, starting with the keepers, and they picked three keepers. Ter Stegen obviously wasn't chosen due to an injury, so it's Neuer, it's Trapp, it's Leno. What do you guys think about that? You guys agree with that? For me, I mean, it doesn't really matter who's second, who's third. We know exactly who's starting for the German men's national team. That is our main man, Manuel Neuer. And then it's just kind of who else could be there on the bench. There was a couple other good options, but I mean, Trapp, Leno, if Ter Stegen's not going to be there, then I mean, for me, I don't have any issue with it really. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy with that. We know who's going to be starting, and there's not too much that has to be said. Rolling on into the defenders, there's a few interesting ones. I'll try to go in terms of right back versus center back versus left back to give you guys kind of an idea of where some of these players will be playing. Starting with the right back, I mean, you can kind of pick out who's there's no real natural right back in this squad, which I think is a little bit interesting. We know Lucas Klostermann is there. He can play right back, and in my opinion, he should be this starting right back. But as you guys know, watching Leipzig play, he's kind of reverted into a right central midfielder rather than just a natural right back. But looking at the options on this squad, you almost have to go with Klostermann as the starting right back. You arguably could play Matthias Ginter there, who again is not a right back. He has played right back for the national team in the past. He's played it in club career in his past, but he's a center back. And I think Klostermann's got the speed and he's got the ability to be able to play in that position, and it's probably where I would do it. But if we're looking at depth for this right back position, it has to be Klostermann and then probably Ginter. Those are the two that catch my eyes, who basically have been selected for that position. You could arguably say that Kimmich can play in that position if he needed to, but that's where we're going to leave it for the right backs. Riley's here, says this is Löw's last tournament, and if Germany gets knocked out, Flick comes in and brings us the World Cup. Yeah, man, I agree. I think this is definitely Jurgen Löw's last one. And yeah, I mean, I don't think that a lot of German men's national team fans are overly excited about it. We're in a very tough group. We have to take on France, Portugal, Hungary. It's going to be tricky. I don't know, man. There's not really a lot to say. It's just it's not the I don't think it's the strongest team, considering who's going to be going against the likes of France, Belgium, who've got good solid squad. But if Jurgen Löw can get it right, there's no reason to think that they can't go to at least the knockout stages. But Brandt Brandt did not, my friend. Brandt did not. At least I don't believe he did. We'll keep rolling through. We're at the right back positions right now. So I'll try to put them in order for you guys. It's just kind of give you a good look. At the keeper, we got Neuer, Trapp, Leno. If I'm going to put them in order of 1, 2, 3, I'd go Neuer first, Leno second, Trapp third, in that order for Germany's keepers. To the right back position, like I said, without playing Kimmich there, because I don't believe he's going to actually get played there, I'd say it's going to be Lucas Klostermann as our starting right back, with technically Ginter is probably the second string right back, even though, of course, he's not a right back. But again, there's no one else who really stands out. Let me know if you guys agree with that or not. It would be better if Boateng and DAHOUD were included. I agree, Matar. I agree. I think Boateng for the experience, man. Absolutely, and for DAHOUD, I just think he plays fantastic. But Riley's saying a shout for Chan at left back. I don't think Chan will be playing left back because there is 3 left backs in this position. But Chan arguably could play right back. So you guys can take your pick for the defenders. In my opinion, number 1 is going to be Klostermann for the right back position. And then the backup right back could be either Chan or Ginter. Both of them have played at right back for the German men's national team. Both of them have played right back for their club teams. But arguably, I guess you could say Chan has played it more recently than Ginter has. So I guess we'll say Chan for right now for the other right back. Center backs is Ginter, Sula. Where's the other ones? Robin Knock, and I guess Hummels, which I don't even. So yeah. So I guess if we're gonna go for the starting pair, I'd say Mats Hummels and Niklas Sula will be the 2 starting center backs, with Ginter and Robin Knock as the 2 other center backs. So I guess it's a 4-man center back, but you could also have Emre Can slide in there if we need to. It's a decent back core, man. It's a decent back core. He was playing in the qualifiers in the first half of the qualifiers. Sula right back. I mean, you could put Sula at right back. What do you guys think? Because for me, honestly, I think you have to go Klostermann, just because if you're gonna probably play a back 4. Now, if we play with a back 5 and have 2 wing backs, that kind of changes things. But I have a feeling we're going to go back 4. That's what we played in the last time out. Klostermann fits that position way more naturally than anybody else. I know Niklas Sula had a couple good games at the right back position, but I feel like he's got to be starting at the center back. No? Rudiger's in there as well. Rudiger, Hummels, Niklas Sula, Ginter, and Robin Knock. I don't know. It's making it challenging, guys. Rudiger over Sula, easy. I mean, if you wanted to go Sula with what you said, that would have to take out Klostermann, or you have to go to a back 5. You could go Sula at right back with Rudiger and Hummels as the 2 center backs, and then pick a left back. But I don't know. For me, if I'm going my best 4, I'd go Klostermann at right back with Sula, Hummels as the 2 center backs, and then we have obviously 3 left backs available to us in Robin Guzens, Gunter, and Halstenberg, and I'd probably go Guzens as the starting left back. But if we're going to go with a back 3, it would be Klostermann at the right wing back, Guzens at the left wing back, and then you could have your pick of Rudiger, Sula, and Hummels. So I don't know, man. It's not a bad back 3 / back 4, depending on what you're going to play, considering that Klostermann can play at the right wing back, as well as Guzens is definitely a solid left wing back. Hello, my friend. How you doing today? Chan at left back, Klostermann right, Hummels and Rudiger. I wouldn't start Chan at left back, and he's definitely not going to play as left back, considering that Jurgi Löw called up 3 other left backs. I think Guzens is the number 1 look right now. Gunter and Halstenberg as well can play there, but I just think there's no reason to them to put a right-footed Emre Can on the left back position for me. But I don't know. We'll have to see. Going into the midfielders is where I think we're going to find the most success with this German national team. Would have taken Baku in defense. That's not a bad shout. Especially for like the right back position. Klostermann's going to be the number 1 man in my opinion, but that wouldn't have been a bad show. Definitely not. How about Chan for manager? Yeah, you never know. I mean, hopefully Hansi Flick will come in here and take this team to another level. But I mean, Jurgi Löw's had a lot of good experience here, and it's a shame that over the past little bit, it hasn't been always the prettiest. But let's try to build this team out together, guys. We got a very strong midfield core to look at. Kimmich is in there, Gundogan's in there, Gnabry, Havertz, Kroos, Goretzka, Werner, Thomas Müller, Sané. Jonas Hoffman was a surprise one for me. It's not that he's had a bad season or anything. Musiala is obviously the young gun. Neuhaus, and of course, Kevin Volland. Do you think Musiala made the right decision picking Germany over England and Nigeria? I personally do. I think he made that right decision because I think if I'm looking at the two squads going forward between England and Germany, I feel like it'd be a lot harder for him to break into the English squad just because of a lot of the depth in that position. I feel like he has got a better shot playing with the German men's national team. I feel like he's got a better shot also because he's playing in the country. He's creating that relationship with his fellow Bayern players, who I believe there's 8 Bayern players on this squad. Sad Royce is not going to go as Bayern fan. I feel for him. He's always misses out. I feel for him too, man. I mean, obviously the World Cup, that stung him. That stung him a lot. He did get to play, obviously, in a World Cup. Didn't go very well. He's had his chances, but he just... arguably, some people have their opinions on it, but like I said, he's had a lot of injury troubles, and he's back onto some of the best form I've ever seen him play, so it's hard to make him want to give up that form and give up that chance to keep going and prolonging his club career to play for the national team. And there's 2 ways to look at it, but he made his decision. We got to back him, and being my favorite player, I'm going to back him every day of the week, but it is cool to see that Hummels made his way back in as well as Thomas Müller, and it's still a very strong squad. I think Kevin Volland's an interesting one. For some of you guys who were keeping an eye on Monaco this season, Kevin Volland has been absolutely lights out. He's been sensational. He plays in a 4-4-2 over in Monaco, so depending on how this team will line up, he's played on the wing in the past. But if you're looking at a striker, guys, who do you guys start? Who do you guys pick right now for our number 9? Because we got our backs sort of lined up, but is it Werner? Is it Volland? I don't know. With the congestion of talent in the midfield, do you think Love will pick Kimmich at right back? When I was looking at this squad, I was thinking immediately yes, but Klosterman can play right back, and I think he's a solid player, and there's no reason for him not to play there, especially with the depth in the center back position. But if we need to, we could put Kimmich there. Kimmich could easily play in the right back position, and then you could put the midfield of Gundogan, Goretzka, and Toni Kroos. So I guess make your decision on that, man. But yeah, I don't know. That makes it tough. Who do you guys start at right back? Would you go Klosterman or would you go Kimmich? Werner always misses big chances. I would put Volland in there. That's what I was thinking too, man. But I don't think Jurgen Löw is gonna. If I'm gonna go my honest opinion, if I'm gonna go right now on it, because I'm like I said, we got a lot of depth in the midfield. But if I'm gonna give you my guess on what I believe Jurgen Löw is going to start. So I think he's going to play originally the 4-3-3. I think he's going to go Manuel Neuer in net. I think right back probably to start off will be Klosterman, just because I don't think he wants Kimmich to play at right back, but I could be wrong, and I would not be against seeing Kimmich playing at the right back position. He's done it for Bayern for years. We know he can do it. But I think Kimmich, at his stage, kind of wants to have more of the ball and play in the midfield. But the 2 center backs, I think he'll go Hummels, he'll go Sula. Guzens will be the left back. This midfielders then would be Kimmich. It would be... Oh, and then it gets tricky. I think it'd be Kimmich, Gundogan, and Toni Kroos. That means Goretzka would be on the bench. I know that some of you Bayern fans may not agree. The other way to get, like I said, to get Goretzka in would be then to push Kimmich to the right back position, and Klosterman would be on the bench. And then the front 3 is where it gets real interesting, because I don't know. Because then we have Thomas Müller there, who will probably play, in my opinion, as a false 9 in a 4-3-3. Because otherwise you'll have to play a 4-2-3-1 and put him cam. And then on the wing, you'll have probably Gnabry and Sané. But some of you guys are saying that you want Kimmich playing at the right back position. Some of you guys are saying that Kimmich should stay in the midfield. It's been pretty 50-50. Someone's asked me Jamal Musiala or Bellingham. I'm going to say Bellingham every time, guys. Come on. That's pretty easy. Gozens, not Guzens. Okay, I'm mispronouncing Gozens. Am I saying it right now? Gozens. Very talented man. He'll be interesting to see if we can play in the left as a left wing back if we do go with a back 3. I think Goretzka will be on the bench, especially if Kimmich plays in the midfield. I agree. If there's a 3-man midfield and Kimmich is in it, Gundogan and Toni Kroos are in that 100%. But you can make the argument that if you want if you want to get Goretzka in, you could easily push Kimmich to that right back position. And I mean, you got a strong squad. The thing that worries me about this though is the number 9, because I feel like there's gonna be a way on playing with a false 9, and playing with a false 9 can always be a dangerous thing, especially when there's not a finisher. But you can make the argument that if you throw Werner as the striker, he's not gonna put the ball in the back of the net anyway. So right now, I'm leaning towards the false 9 with Muller as the false 9 with Sane and I guess Gnabry in the wings. I don't know if you guys want to put in a front three, and that's where I think we're going with this. Thoughts on Benzema returning? Mind blown. I can't believe Benzema's returning, but I mean, you just blossomed that French starting 11 by quite a bit now, and yeah, I'm shocked. I didn't think they'd ever figure out a way to make it work. Benzema is on lethal form right now. It's probably his last shot to be able to play in this type of tournament. But I don't know, he keeps aging very well, so you never know what's going to happen there. But there's no terrific left backs in Germany. No, there's not. I mean, a lot of people were surprised that Schultz didn't make it, but I mean, I was always a little critical when Schultz did get brought up to the national team because he doesn't play for the club team. I think for the most part, every player that is playing on the national team should be a starter. And I mean, I see a lot of good starters in this squad. A lot of these guys got a lot of good minutes over the past season, and it's gonna be tricky. I can see this team lining up with a 3-back. I can see it lining up with a 2-back. But either way, it's gonna be strong. But the one thing that puts a little bit of worry in me is who's gonna be playing in that number 9/false 9 position. Agent says Muller Gnabry will score a lot. It could. I just think Kimmich offers more in the midfield than defense, especially with that killer passes. I absolutely agree. I mean, if we're getting Lucas Klosterman is a fantastic right back, man. He's a very versatile player. He can play as a wing back, he can play as a right back, he can play as an outside center back. You can use him in various positions, and I have no problem with him starting as the right back for the squad, especially with Hummels and Sula in the midfield. And if you go in a back 3, you can throw Rudiger in there as well. So it's a strong back line. It's whether Jurgen Löw can get it together on the day or not. And I think that midfield is going to be the most important thing for this national team going forward. And if you can have one of Kimmich, Gundogan, and Kroos and find a way to get Goretzka come in there, it's a strong squad. It's the front 3 that I think will be the Achilles heel, depending if they can put the ball in the back of the net. Because you got pace on the wings with Gnabry and Sane. It's just whether who's ever playing in that position. If you put Fall in there, if you put our boy Muller there, making his way back in, I don't know. Because the other interesting thing is if you go in a 4-2-3-1, you lose someone in that midfield, which I don't see them doing. Because if you went a 4-2-3-1, you could have Toni Kroos and Kimmich as the 2 CDMs. You could have Muller as your number 10. You could have Sane and Gnabry in the wings, and then Werner or Volland up front. It's an interesting one. Why is Royce not chosen? He got his form back. Dark, my man, he probably would have been in this team. He ruled himself out. I think he probably would have took Jonas Hoffman's spot. He ruled himself out because of his injury. He wants to prolong his club career. He knows his body needs rest. He made that decision, and I absolutely respect it. It wasn't love going around him or anything like that. I think he would be here, and he deserved to be here. For me, man, a big one should have been DAHOUD, but I mean, there is a lot of depth in that midfield. I'm being a little bit biased. I think he should have been there for Neuhaus. You guys know what it is. Musiala should play along Muller, Sane, and Gnabry. I don't think Musiala will be starting in this. I think it's hard. It's hard for me right now to sit back at this squad and make a strong starting 11. And if I'm gonna do it, like I said, I'll give you guys my final one. If I was to look at this squad and just kind of go for it, it'd be interesting, man. It'd be interesting, but for me, I think Jurgen Löw's gonna go with the 3-man midfield. No, I think he is. I think there's no way he can't. I think he's gonna go with the 4-3-3, just because he wants to get that blossom midfield out there with Gundogan, Kroos, and Kimmich. But for me, I don't know, man. It's hard. I think for the firepower and to make it look very attractive, I like seeing the 4-2-3-1 played. It used to be a fantastic formation that was used for the national team. I say Neuer would be in net, Klosterman would be right back, but you could put Kimmich there. You know what? I am going to do that. I'm going to go off track. This is going to be my best 11. It's probably by no stretch going to work. And let me know what you guys think. Let me know what your best 11 is before we wrap up the episode. But it's going to be Neuer in net. I'm going to go Kimmich right back just to get him on the pitch. You know what it's like seeing someone like Kimmich be able to put in balls even from the outside position. Having Hummels and Sula as the two center mids. Gosens as the left back. He'll be going up and down the pitch. The two CDMs then with Kimmich now at the right back would be probably Toni Kroos and Gundogan. You have Muller at your center attacking mid, which is, I mean, a big reason to get him into the squad. I think that's exactly where he should be. You have his two teammates and Sane and Gnabry in the wings, and then you have Kevin Volland up front. That is my preferred starting lineup. Let's see what Matar is saying. 4-2-3-1. Muller as striker, Goretzka behind him with Ilkay, Kimmich as CDM, Gnabry, and Sane on the wings. So he would go with the false nine. The false nine would be an interesting one. We see Neuer, Gosens, Rudiger, Hummels, Kimmich. So the same. Well, no, you went Rudiger over Sula, which I respect. Gundogan. So you went the three-man midfield, and I could definitely see that. And more than likely, that's what it will be. It'll be Gundogan, it'll be Toni Kroos, it'll be Goretzka, and then you went Gnabry, Sane, and Muller with the false nine. I rate that one, and arguably that would be probably a more realistic starting 11 than the one I presented, just because I don't see a way that Jurgen Klopp doesn't go with the three-man midfield. When I look at this team top to bottom, you get mind blown by as strong as this midfield core is, which is the reason I think that probably Thomas Müller will be playing in that false nine role. He's done it before for the national team. He's done it well for the national team. Don't think the false nine will work with this team. Yeah, I know, man. I don't know. Arguably, man, if I'm looking at goal-scoring form, I want Kevin Volland in there. I want him as our number 9. He can play it well. He's a good finisher. He's on excellent form with Monaco, and he's got the two wingers feeding him balls left, right, and center with Gnabry and Sane. You could even play Thomas Müller under him. I think that'd be a dynamic duo. It's going to be interesting to see the way Jurgen Klopp's going to have to balance this team out. We didn't even do the proposition of a back three, which would be Hummels, Sula, Rudiger, Gosens at left wing back, probably Kimmich and or Klosterman at right wing back, and then you have definitely Gundogan and Kroos as the two center mids. Then you'd have Gnabry, Sane, and then it would have to be either Volland or Muller as the front three there. But it's a lot to think about. It's a pretty solid 26-man squad. I mean, there's a couple things that I'd change. There's some players in there that just don't really, do it for me. I miss my boy DAHOUD. But it's still, if it's played properly, it really matters about the 11 man on the pitch. And you can make, we've just done it, 3 or 4 or 5 strong cases for different formations, different personnel that will be on this team. But we're going to do one last one here before we wrap it up for the day. That is from Juan. He's got Neuer in net, Klosterman at right back. He's got Hummels. I'm not sure where your other center back is. Oh, you got okay. You're going a little off track, Juan. I like it. Gosens then as the left back with Kimmich, Goretzka, Sane, Gnabry, Musiala, and Muller. Bayern fan, Juan. Nothing against Jamal, man. I think he's an absolute baller. I just don't think he's got the faith yet to start at this level. But, I could be wrong. And for the center back, I don't think there's a way that Christian's going to start there, man. I don't. I think that the center back pretty much writes itself. I think it's going to be Hummels alongside either Sula or Rudiger. It'll depend. Catalina's here. Without DAHOUD is a disgrace in Bundesliga. Jurgen Klopp. Yeah, I was a little upset. What happened to Philip Max? That was another surprise one. I thought he'd be in here before Halstenberg would be. I think he's had a good season out in the Netherlands with PSV, but I don't know. Man. Erling Haaland says, in my opinion, DAHOUD can alternate in the long term. He could. I think he arguably should be in here in front of Neuhaus. I think he had a much better season. Surely ended the season to it, but we're gonna wrap it up there today, ladies and gentlemen. It was a lot of fun. Hope you guys are gonna get excited for the Euros just as much as I am. For you Dortmund fans out there, we got a very fun transfers episode that I believe will be dropped for you guys tomorrow. It's the one you guys have all been waiting for, so it should be a lot of fun. We'll be covering the German men's national team as well as the Canadian men's national team throughout the summer. It should be fun. We seem to have a good core of German supporters here as well. So yeah, it's a pretty good 26-man squad. I don't know how it's gonna line up. Will Germany win it? That'll be the last one. No, they won't. And I don't think anyone who supports this country will. Man, I don't know. I don't think they have the depth I don't think they have the right management to be able to go forward. Their last few results have not been convincing, but you never know. It's a beautiful thing about this tournament. It doesn't help also they're in the group of death with Portugal and France, but I will be doing my Euro predictions at some point, so we'll get a much better look at what this team will look like. But it's going to be tough, man. I might talk about some more. I'm not sure exactly what kind of content we're going to have throughout the summer. We're obviously going to be touching on a lot of Borussia Dortmund transfer rumors. That'll be a main one, as well as the Canadian men's national team. They're very busy, and I'm going to cover Germany the best I can, depending on, obviously, the availability. But I will be there for the opening match against France, so that should be a fun watch-along with you guys. I'll be going for Germany. It's going to look like a long shot. But Tyrone just came in here, said, "What's up, Yellows?" Tino's in here as well. Hello, my friends. But yeah, guys, we're wrapping it up there today. So yeah, I guess let me know in the comments what you think of this team and how far you think they're gonna go. Not a lot of faith from some of the supporters of this of this team, but thank you guys for checking out. Be sure to drop a like on your way out, subscribe if you're new, and we will see you next time.